I got it. Oh, the more you touch it, the more dangerous it becomes. Okay. There we go. Much better. Thank you, Linus. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the May 3rd meeting of the Rotary Club of Brentwood. My name is Drew Rogers, and I have the privilege of serving. Yeah, it seems to keep building on itself. Thank you. I do have the privilege of serving as the president of the club this year, and we have a wonderful program. We also have some guests and some visiting Rotarians that'll be making an important announcement about an important Rotary event that's coming. I would like to start the meeting by inviting Betsy Crossley to deliver our invocation, followed by past District Governor Dick Bowers, who will lead us in the pledge and four-way test before we introduce our guests and visiting Rotarians. Betsy.
All right, let's bow our heads. Lord, each day is a challenge. May we rise to meet this day knowing that you are here. Yeah, right here, right beside us, guiding us to be ambassadors, spreading your loving kindness in an uncertain time of upheaval and distress. For those members in this club who are experiencing loss or pain or sickness, heal their souls, dear Father. We particularly lift up in prayer Dan and Becky Nunley, Bill and Kay McCarthy, Bob Searcy, Harold Fogelberg, James Davis, Gil Walker, and former members Gene Harmon and Leon Partain. We also lift up the officers and directors of this club as they continue to work for the good of Rotary in our community and in this world. Let your mighty arms surround them with renewed strength, merciful healing, and all-encompassing love. And as today's rain renews the living things on earth, Father, we ask that you rain on us, cleanse away walls that separate us, and rejuvenate a spirit of hope and peace. Replace hate with empathy. Give us ears to listen and truly hear. As Rotarians, we seek world peace. May we radiantly reflect the high ideal as we journey through each hour of every day. Let us love our neighbors and give us the courage to pray for our enemies. Lord, make us instruments of your peace. May it be so. Amen and amen.
Will you join me, please, in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First, second, third, and fourth.
Certainly hope so. Thank you very much, Betsy, and thank you, Dick. I would now like to invite Jennifer Bourne, our club secretary, to introduce our guests and visiting Rotarians. Jennifer.
Okay, we have got a couple prospects who are, what that means is they are in the middle of the process of becoming members, and I want to introduce them specially so you guys will walk around and get to know them as we progress. Drew over here is one of them, Drew Cressman.
Welcome, Drew.
Hey. Where's Peggy? Where's Peggy? Oh, here we are. I'm sorry. Peggy Ray, right here.
Welcome, Peggy.
Say hello. And then Chris Dooney, right here.
Welcome, Chris.
Chris is like right there. So he's got orientation and then induction. We do have quite a few visiting Rotarians today as well. So I'm going to start here with you because you were eating, and that's why.
Hi, I'm Deb Barallo, and I'm located at the downtown Rotary Club, which is now located at Geodis Park. So it's not downtown, but we're close.
Welcome, Deb.
All right, we have some cowgirls here today. I'm going to let them all introduce themselves.
I'm Gail Powell, and I'm here with the Franklin Noon Rotary and Rodeo.
Welcome, Gail.
Patty Bearden, Franklin Noon Rotary.
Welcome, Patty.
Catherine Lamson, Franklin Noon Rotary and Rodeo Committee.
Welcome, Catherine.
Did I miss anyone? They're with the speaker, correct? Do you want to do it separately? All right, we're going to introduce our speaker.
Here we go.
I want to introduce my friend Betsy Wright. She is loosely related to our speaker today. Loosely related. They own Affinity Technology Partners, and Betsy and I have known each other since college.
back in the college roommate days. So welcome, Betsy and Sean. Sean will be introduced in a minute.
Welcome, Betsy.
I think that's it. Welcome, you guys. Thank you for coming.
Wonderful. Welcome to all of our guests and our visiting Rotarians. We are going to hear from the cowgirls that have joined us today about the rodeo in a few moments. But we do have a couple of brief announcements that I wanted to share with you before I turn the floor over to Catherine, Gail, and Patty from the Franklin Noon Club about the upcoming rodeo. The first of which is that community grant applications have been released. They are due May 17th, so 2 weeks from today. Those grant applications are due, and those need to be submitted to Steve Huff. I'm sorry, Tom, or to Tom Carr. We're going to redo the parking debacle again, aren't we? While I make announcements. So if you would like your community grant application to be considered, you need to submit them to Steve Huff or to Tom Carr, and they are due 2 weeks from today. Also, for all of our new members, and we've had some amazing new member activity, but I do see some of those here today. We would like your picture in our membership database. So I believe that's a 150 by 150. The pixel, the whatever, the resolution, the whatever ratio. You got it. The size, yeah, the 150 by 150. Yeah, it's 150 by 150. And you give that to Betsy Crossley. I will be sending an email out through DACDB. But for our new members, if you have a headshot that you would like to be in our membership database so that other members can see your face and know who you are, that would be wonderful. I would appreciate that very much. And to our new members, we've got several that have recently joined. I do see Robin and Hassan here. I see Brian Thomas here. I see Bruce Brewer here. Please introduce yourself to these new members, and with Chris Dooney and Peggy Ray here, and Drew Cressman, all in some portion or part of the process of a new membership application. Please introduce yourself to them as well. Make them feel welcome. And with that, I will invite Catherine, Patty, and Gail to the podium to make an announcement about the upcoming rodeo.
Thank you, Drew, so much for allowing us to be here. As you all know, there's a small event coming up in Franklin, and actually there's more than one event coming up. Catherine's going to talk about one of them that precedes our rodeo, but our rodeo is coming up again. This is our 73rd year to do this rodeo and the 75th year of our club. 2 years we were not able to have the rodeo because of COVID. Some people keep saying to me, oh, I know you're sold out. We are not sold out. We have thousands of tickets left. And the reason being, we have friends that purchase tickets that just do it to help us out. We always have empty seats. If you've ever been to our rodeo, you can look around and just see numerous empty seats. So we are selling standing room only, and it's at a very modest price. It's $20 a ticket. You're going to get to see a very professional rodeo. We have, I think it's, Catherine, 400 cowboys and cowgirls coming in from all over the United States to compete in this event, and they all are professionals. So I want to invite you to come. There's a lot of things there for adults. I don't have time to talk about each one of them, but there are also a lot of things there for children. So please try to come. Of course, you know, all of us are volunteers. So everything that we make, we give away, and that's what Rotary does. So we're real excited about this event, and we would appreciate your support. There are save the date cards on your table. If you're not going to be able to come, if you could share that with someone, we would appreciate it. Catherine's going to talk for just a moment about our parade.
Hi, I'm Catherine Lamson. This year, I am co-chair of our rodeo parade, and I'm also on our rodeo committee. So our parade is kind of the kickoff to our rodeo. It happens every year. This year, it is on Saturday, May 11th. Starts at noon, and it is in the square of downtown Franklin. It's free for anybody to come. It's very family friendly. We have a lot of floats. We have bands. We have dancers. And this year we have over 120 horse entries. So it's going to be pretty spectacular. We also encourage anybody who wants to be a part of the parade. Anybody can enter. It's free, no cost. I mean, it can be anything from a float to a truck decorated with your business logo, anything that you feel is fun and festive. So if you have a business you'd like to promote, you've got friends and family, perhaps starting a new business to get a little bit more attention, we encourage you to join our parade. So if you have any questions or if you want to apply, the deadline is Wednesday. Feel free to contact any of us at the Franklin Noon Rodeo or Rotary or myself, and I can get you an application and give you all the directions on how to join us. So we hope we all see you there. It's a lot of fun. Thank you.
One other thing, Drew, we have a giveaway this morning, and I want to give it to your newest member. It's 2 tickets to the rodeo, a rodeo cap for this year, and a rodeo t-shirt. So who is your newest member? Bruce?
Thank you very much. And that sounds like a great way to start Mother's Day weekend, to be at the parade. So I hope that you will all go out and support the Franklin Noon Club's 73rd rodeo. I would now like to ask Keely Hall to lead us in Happy Bucks. Keely.
All right. Wow, that's a hot mic.
Hot mic. Hot mic.
All right. Who is happy today? I'll start us out. I don't have $1 on me, but I'm going to start us out and say, who's with me in nominating Betsy to be all-time invocation leader?
Amen.
It was a great invocation this morning.
Amen.
Thank you, Betsy. Who else is happy?
So we turn, the organization I'm with, Barefoot Republic, we turn 25 this month. So on May 14th, in a few days, we're going to have an open breakfast for all to come and hear the history at our new location. We just moved to Christ Church on Old Hickory Boulevard, where the old YMCA was for about 10 years. You guys know what I'm talking about? Right there. We took over that space, and officially Wednesday, we opened the doors to the Barefoot Republic Community Center. So we are, come work, exercise, play, worship, eat a little bit. We're this community center for that area and running our programs year round. So you're all invited to come join me for breakfast, hear the history, see our new place, May 14th, 7 o'clock.
Wonderful.
In the morning.
Happy birthday. You don't look a day over 24. Wow, this is a tough crowd.
They're just heating up.
Real quick golf update. I mentioned last week we had 35 outstanding sponsors from last year. So I just want to remind you, we still have 35 outstanding sponsors from last year. We got 2 new sponsors this week, though. John Kraft picked up 2 sponsors. The only ones we got, they were new ones. So thank John. I was talking to Drew, talking to Drew earlier about golf, and he was mentioning he played in a tournament this week, and I'm playing in a tournament Monday. So I always want to remind you guys, we got 16 weeks till our tournament. There will be approximately 5, I'm guessing, tournaments a week. Until then, that's 80 golf tournaments to compete with for sponsorships. The quicker we get on them, the easier it's going to be. Golf for raising funds is a serious business, even though you think we just got our little tournament here. Well, everybody has a little tournament here. So get out there and get on those 35. My thought process was, if we don't get some of those in, I think I'm going to make a list of the names of the people who had those, and we'll put them on the board up here next week, and we'll do a little public humiliation. So anyway, get out and get those sales for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Linus is happy.
It is May 3rd, and we're still playing hockey here in Nashville.
Hey, now, go Preds.
I have one more. I forgot to mention our first customer through the door for our community center was Miss Jewel. Miss Jewel came in at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, walked 3 miles around our indoor track. Miss Jewel is 101 years old.
Wow.
She looks about 80. She did it yesterday too. I'm amazed. So here's for Miss Jewel.
Right on. Awesome.
Oh, Laura's happy.
We adopted our kiddos yesterday.
Nice.
Super excited. It went really well. It was very sweet. We packed out the courthouse. So it was really fun and it went without a hitch. So we're officially parents to 5 children. But I'm also happy because we have a membership growth committee meeting afterward. And if you're looking for a committee to plug into or just want to learn how committees work, come and sit in on it and see if it's something that you want to be part of. But we'll be meeting up in the front conference room after the meeting.
Thank you, Laura.
All right, I know we have some other happy people. Oh, there's one. Susie.
All right, I'll do it. Piggybacking on Laura's adoption thing, Tuesday marks 20 years that Dima's been a part of our family. We're having a big Gotcha Day celebration, so it's awesome.
Awesome. That is awesome. Oh,
I get my exercise in.
Long distance.
My daughter got married a week ago.
Nice. Congratulations.
And also, you somehow have two $2 bills on your person. That's amazing. Who else is happy? I'm happy that he has two $2 bills. Come on now.
Going once.
I know we have happiness.
Going twice.
Oh. Can always count on Alan.
Get the money first.
I've got my wallet is stuck. So anyway, my good friend John here, I highly recommend him if you have a funeral or you're. But he always comes in immaculately dressed with dark suits, very expensive suits. John, stand up. Check out this sports coat here. It's beautiful. Give him a hand.
Yeah.
Everybody give him. All right.
Oh, you can definitely always count on Alan. Mr. Tom.
I just want to pay up for Alan. That's terrible.
Thank you. My goodness.
All right. So we're now officially balanced. Who else? Going once. Going twice. God.
Wonderful. Keely, thank you. And before I invite Burt Bradford to come up and introduce our speaker, I do feel like I've got a quick story to share with you guys, because you develop close relationships with your board. And so this is relative to our speaker today, Sean, and this might give you some insight as to what you're dealing with in the room today. But Sean is the founder of Affinity Technology Solutions, so that the topic is cybersecurity. So I get a phone call from Burt Bradford, friend, board member, and he says, look, hey, I know we've had our differences. You're an Auburn guy, I'm an Alabama guy, and but appreciate being on the board and appreciate all that we do together for the club. And he said, but hey, as a banker, I need your advice. I just got this email, and it says that I've won sweepstakes. And if I send like a $5,000 processing fee, they'll give me $100,000 back. Do you think that's a good deal? It's like, well, yeah, we do have our differences. You gave me a hard time about 4th and 31 in the Auburn-Alabama game, and the fact that we haven't had a whole lot of success against Alabama, but Burt, that's a pretty good deal. You should take that. So hopefully we get to hear more about that story from you, Burt.
All I can say, he's a big liar. He's bigger than me. All right. So our speaker today is Sean Wright. Sean is the founder and president of Affinity Technology Partners and a thought leader on technology strategies for growing businesses. With over 20 years of working experience in the IT area, Sean has a knack for helping business owners understand the role of technology in achieving goals. After working for a decade as a enterprise database administrator, and systems engineer for some of Nashville's largest companies, Sean founded Affinity Technology in 2002. Sean has an extensive background and has written a number of publications and had numerous speaking engagements on topics like free file sharing accounts are bad for businesses. Here's why. 4 ways to protect your business from ransomware threats. Cybersecurity for the wired employer, a survival guide. Business responsibility with cybersecurity. And Cybersecurity 101, the risk your company faces and what you can do to counteract them. So if you'll welcome Sean Wright.
I don't know where to start. There's a lot of fun going on here. And I'm going to talk about cybersecurity. That's right, exactly. So let me share my boring clips here, and we're going to get started. Can y'all see that? Yeah, there we go. So cybersecurity, how many of you all have gotten an email like what they described? Okay, how many have you gotten? 1, 2, 20, 40? You just got one, didn't you? You know, so this is super, super common. And so we deal with this with our clients all of the time and for people in their everyday life, okay? So we're here in Brentwood. My wife is here. We have 4 kids. One's going to graduate next week. Addison from UNC Asheville. And so 3 other kids are moving through. And we have a great team right down the road here in Brentwood, right behind Taziki. And we've been doing this about 20 years, 22 years now, trying to help businesses use their technology for good, okay? And so there's a lot of distractions out there. And we're going to use a lot of software that you may or may not recognize. We've all heard of antivirus. How many of you guys use antivirus? How many of you all know that antivirus is not very effective anymore? You all know that? Yeah. We manage things remotely. We'll look at threat detection, like, is your calculator still a calculator? When you open your email, is it still an email program or did something get added to it? And that's actually what happens too. So we're looking for other threats in the background and then looking at the network. So these are all really boring technology things. The biggest thing that we want to do is talk about y'all, because awareness to you all is where everyone is going, okay? Yes, we have all those fancy tools and we got the stuff that will light up the boards, but when you get that email about your banker that needs something and you click the link, you put your information in, you've just opened the door. And that's all they want. They want the door opened so they could take the next step, okay? So you all, and what we're talking about is critical, not only for business, but also your personal life. So I don't know if you all can read this. I know it's a little bit further away, but I'm going to describe to you, turn this on so you all can read it. You don't hear me? Good. I'm going to describe to you what happens when a business gets ransomed. Who has heard on the news about a company being ransomed? Okay. So a bad guy gets in the door, they encrypt all their stuff. Next thing you know, the business can't work. So what happens in the process is the president's notified, the president calls cybersecurity insurance. Hopefully they have it. Cybersecurity insurance, what do they call? Do they call tech people? No, they call the legal team, okay? So the legal team gets involved. The legal team then calls their forensics people, which happen to be IT people. Then they start working through the problem. Did I say anything about people working yet? People are still not working, okay? And then eventually they determine what's been encrypted, what's not working, and what do we do with these bad guys, okay? So what you see on the screen is a real-time chat with bad guys with the chat negotiator. So we've all heard about negotiating with bad guys. This is what's going on. So top left, if you pay Monday, we will accept 1.3 KK, $1.3 million. This is our last offer. Decide rapidly or we can publish you. If you agree, we can wait even until Tuesday, but no later. So that's what the bad guy's saying. So literally through the process, they start engaging the bad guys through chat. And ironically, these bad guys have a business plan, okay? Their business plan is to have the door opened, get inside, see what's there, and see what they can get. And once they get something, they just follow their plan. And part of that is negotiating at that point. So this is a real thing. Let's see. In the blue, I need to discuss the situation and we'll need some time. Remember, if you publish us, we will no longer be interested in further discussions and we'll disconnect. So that's the good guys talking to the bad guy at that point. You know, so they're in the middle of that. So just I want to put that up there that when you guys hear about on the news, companies being ransomed, this is probably what's happening. This particular group was a known group over in the Ukraine. They used all the tools that were highly known by the FBI. And so they were legitimate, okay? And they knew, the forensics IT people knew that if they negotiated with them, they would actually do what they say. Because remember, they're running a business. How many of us have a business? And if we don't do what we say, we're not going to have a business the next day. Same thing with these people. If they don't do what they say they're going to do in these negotiations, they won't be believed the next time. Ironically, they have a business. So I'm going to keep moving here. So I'm talking about clicking when you get something in your email and it says to click something. So this particular example is, hey, Jason, you recently requested a password reset. To change your LinkedIn password, click here. Okay. So Jason's a team member. He did not request a password reset, but it looks like it came from LinkedIn. It has the logo up there. So would you all click? That's the question. And a lot of this, ironically, comes down to common sense. So if I'm Jason, I've been working today. I've been in my email. I've opened a couple of web browsers, talked to my friends, or maybe texted or did some Instagram, but nowhere in there did I do anything with LinkedIn. So that's a flag. Don't do it. Don't move forward. So again, it's common sense. But for some reason, we want to go, well, I must reset my password. I need to go ahead and do that because it tells me to do that. But we just don't do it, okay? Another example on the left here. How many of you got an email from Best Buy, from Norton, from Symantec that says, hey, you're supposed to pay an invoice. There's a problem with your card. So if you want that, what you bought, can you go ahead and click here and process that? It looks legit. And it's like, wait, I need to pay my bill. I better go ahead and move forward with this. But I'm sure I was at Best Buy the other day, or I was on Amazon. So of course wait. Common sense again, default to that. I didn't do that. I didn't go to Best Buy. I didn't buy anything this week on Amazon. So this is probably false, okay? On the right, okay? This is a human resource payroll. They share the file with me, okay? So if I'm in a company and I suddenly get this, I have to ask myself, what did my employee handbook say? Did they say they were going to share files with me? And if they did, is this how they said they would do that? No, they didn't. So don't click the link, or in this case, don't scan the QR code, okay? And remember, a lot of QR codes are really popular nowadays. And there are a lot of QR codes that lead you somewhere else. You think you're at the park taking a picture of a flower and you want to know what that flower is. So you take a picture of the QR code, but little did you know that someone put another QR code on the placard and it goes somewhere else. So common sense. Unfortunately, it is everywhere, okay? All right, so this is an example that actually happened to me. Okay, I was heading to the soccer field to coach the kids down the road here, and I got an email on Saturday morning. And I am the tech guy at the company, and I help run the servers, and it says, mailbox maintenance. Incoming emails to your account is under hold due to the refuse to upgrade to our terms and conditions. Now, how many of you think that was good English? I actually read what was there. So what you're seeing nowadays is AI being used to make that sound more legitimate. So they're getting trickier. So one of the ways the bad guys are using AI is to make sure they can convince you they are real. So it used to be watch for broken language, not the case much anymore. Okay, so I get this first one, because this is like a succession, okay? I'm like, I'm the one who does the mailbox maintenance. I don't remember any maintenance. I didn't talk to myself about this, but something's going on. So I went ahead and clicked the link. You should not click the link, by the way. If I were to use common sense, I would not have done that. So I went to the next one, the second one. Now, you all can see there's Microsoft up there. I know this is far away. It looks, when you're looking from far away, it looks appropriate, right? There's a box to fill a blank in, probably is your email account. What is off on this, and you can't see it, is the address bar up there, okay? Giddy Baskets. I don't think Microsoft bought Giddy Baskets last night. So it's probably not the right place. So that was another flag to look at. So I shouldn't go forward and put my email account in. I went ahead and did this because I wanted to use this as an example. And so I put Sean@Gmail. That's just a random email account I made. That poor guy, whoever has Sean@Gmail, probably got busted, So I put it in Sean@Gmail, and I get to this. Oh, great. Now I need to put my password in. I'm still at Giddy Baskets, okay? And I'm about to put my password in. So I put my password in, well, maybe Sean's password in. I don't know who that guy is. And next thing I know, I click the next one. Oh, wait, I thought I was going to get to my email about my maintenance. But now I'm actually at the right place. So it says outlooklive.com, okay? So when you get there and you weren't getting to where you were supposed to be going, probably just got hit, okay? Because at that point, they have your email address and they have your password. And they will immediately log into your account, and they will, as they used to do, send a bunch of emails. Because now Sean is sending a lot of emails out because he's friends with everyone, apparently, and he needs a lot of stuff. So please click on the link because he's sending everyone to Giddy Baskets. So they're just going to redo the whole thing until someone keeps going, okay? And eventually they're going to find someone's bank account and eventually get into the bank account and wire funds, okay? I've talked to people where, they're a retiree, they're up and coming, and they have some money, and they hear about the guy up in Massachusetts that talked to the guy over in the Netherlands that talks to their guy in Africa, and they need some help. So they had a conversation that got into the email account. Next thing you know, money is going from the US to the Netherlands to Africa. And it happens. It literally does. So remember, we're talking common sense, okay? Giddy Baskets, remembering mailbox maintenance. There was no mailbox maintenance going on, and I shouldn't have kept going forward. All right. This is a slightly different conversation. I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about it. When you are at Target, Starbucks, your coffee shop, wherever you may be, at the airport, and sometimes I'll do this with I have a longer presentation, which I'll describe in a second. You want to get on the internet, okay? I did that here, okay? I felt safe, so I went ahead and did it, but I connected to the hotspot here, okay? So in this case, Google Starbucks, and I'm going to connect to that, and then I get to the internet. Great, I'm on the internet, here we go. There could be someone sitting in the coffee shop, and instead of going to the internet, I go out to their connection at that point. And then from there, I go to the internet. So now there's a man in the middle watching the traffic, okay? Watching things go through. And so I've actually seen this happen before where you think you're on Southwest.com or you think you're on American Airlines when you're at the airport, but you don't know that what these devices do, they're always wanting to help, okay? We have security on the left. We have convenience on the right, okay? So these are convenient devices. We want them to get online whenever they can. And so there's actually some settings in there and the way the Wi-Fi works is, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Wi-Fi, can I get onto that? And the other end responds and says, sure. Do you have a password? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a password for Southwest, so I'm done. But if I'm a bad guy here, what it does, the devices will just start broadcasting. Are you Google Starbucks? Are you Southwest? Are you American? These are all the Wi-Fis that I've been on. And these devices just start asking the question, okay? And lo and behold, someone responds and says, yeah, I'm Google Starbucks. Okay, great, give me the password. And the computer gives them the password they think it is. And the bad guy in the middle says, great, that's the password. He doesn't care. He just wants to do the handshake for convenience. And so next thing you know, you're on that Wi-Fi hotspot going through them. So it's really important. You've heard of VPNs. Nord is a good company to use. There's other VPNs out there that you could put on your computers. Your businesses might have VPNs put on these devices. So if you're in a hotel, there are lots of people in hotels, and there are lots of devices in hotels. So it's a good place for things to sit and for people to intercept things. Okay. So just be aware that when you're out there, there's people hitting up. Now, before I finish up here, I want to show you a couple of real-time examples that I keep getting and I keep saving, going back to the phishing conversation. So this is Schwab. Looks like I need to review your account information. So I'm supposed to read through all of this. I'll scroll down. Oh, log in now. So I'm going to go log in. Let's see what happens. Now, the security on my computer blocked me. Okay, so I didn't get there. But if you look at this, again, common sense. Hey, Sean, do you have a Charles Schwab account? I don't. So I don't need to go log in. Okay, thankfully, the computer helped me and reminded me not to continue. But if I would have said, yeah, maybe I had something a few years ago, I don't know. I'll go ahead and click. As soon as I do that, they get my email address, they get my password. Let me give you another example. Dropbox. Everyone used Dropbox before, so here's another human resource request for sharing a file. Again, the same thing. If, oh, I need to review and sign it, I need to hit this, and off I go. You don't know what might happen. DocuSign is super important. I remember a client a few years ago where she called me as CFO, and she said, I need to get this DocuSign. I was like, well, of course. What's going on? I don't know. It just doesn't come in. It's not coming in. And so I went to the spam filter. And I said, oh, it's caught in the spam filter. So I forwarded it through. It got caught in the next spam filter. Huh, that's weird. I wonder why it got caught twice. Well, let me forward it to me. It got caught in my spam filter. So finally, since I can get through all the back doors, I got to the file. And I called her and I said, tell me about this because this isn't real. I stopped using common sense on the third spam. Well, I guess I finally picked up on the third spam filter and started using common sense. But she said, oh, I just got a message and I thought I needed to have this. I've been talking to so many deals. I thought I needed it. It was fake. So if she would have actually gotten it, she would have probably signed something or given something away that wasn't even related to what she was working on. You know, so again, common sense. Let's see here. Oh, here's one of these confirming the payments that were successfully received. Looks like I need to go ahead and pay that invoice from Norton, you know? Wait, I didn't buy anything from Norton. Probably a phishing email. So I just have gobs and gobs of this where it's just one thing after another. I think one thing I got succumbed to once was I had an employee that was sitting 20 feet away from me. And I got an email from him that said, hey, I need to change my my payroll information. I was like, oh, well, yeah, let me help you out. So I emailed him back. And as I hit reply and send, I looked up the address bar. I was like, that's not Bob's email address. That's someone else. And I hollered out to Bob, hey, did you request this change? He's like, no, I didn't do that. I didn't stop. That's the other thing you can do. And ask. I should have gotten off my desk, walked over to Bob and said, hey, are you needing a payroll change? And he would have said, no, Sean, I don't need that. What are you talking about? So sometimes having two ways to communicate, getting off of email, just standing up and walking across the room helps, especially with the wiring of money. When you are wiring money, there's no trips, there's nothing in between. Once it goes, it goes. Now, a lot of the FBI can actually get it back, and I've seen that happen. But it's always 2 or 3 steps. And I know when I've wired money, I email our banker, and they call me, and they email me, and they won't do anything until they get that second or sometimes third form of verification, because they know how much is going on now. Okay? Now I'm going to stop. I think that's probably enough. How many want to turn off your phone's Wi-Fi? You want to not get any email anymore. It's just crazy. So what questions do y'all have?
Some time ago, my wife got a call.
Oh,
and they
yes.
said, "Is this Jane Andrews?"
Yes.
And she said, "Who's calling?" And they hung up.
Yep. Yep. That's another one that's going on, unfortunately. They are calling. Hey, this is Tom from NES. Hey, this is John from Metro Nashville Waterworks. You're not paying your bill. Can you make your bill payments? And people do that. Or, hey, this is Steve. I just joined the Pinnacle Group Bank and I see you're banking at Pinnacle. I need some help. I'm new here. So common sense, stop. Okay? Start verifying. Yes. Yes, the text, yes. Yes. What do you recommend? Right. So how many of y'all want to have fun? Okay. Sometimes I reply. Sometimes I say, hey, Bob, I see that you needed that new HR or that payroll change to your bank account. I need 2 forms of verification. Can you send me your social and can you send me your banking account information? And sometimes they'll reply. And you just have a little fun going back and forth. Otherwise, delete it, ignore it, don't get suckered into it. And don't forget that package that you ordered is not your package either. Y'all get those? I get those text messages a lot where that package that is coming is, you need to click the link. It doesn't matter as much anymore. I used to say something a little bit differently, but because of the sheer volume that's happening, I delete it. We're all too busy to worry about it anymore. And I say just delete it. Who else?
So I actually got ransomed.
Yes. Sorry.
And luckily I spoke to my brilliant insurance agent the year before. Mine's Jennifer Bourne, by the way. And I had the cyber security policy added. And I just made a phone call and they paid the ransom. Which I was flabbergasted that they paid it in Bitcoin. And it was all resolved in like 3 days.
Right.
And so I just wanted you to talk about insurance.
Yes.
Because for me, it was like now all I do is say, okay, am I insured on this? And like I talked to my bank and I'm like, so tell me the insurance that I have and please send me something in writing if someone frauds me in my bank.
Right. That's a great point. The example I showed you with the chat, they had cybersecurity insurance. And that was the group that negotiated it down from 3 million down to $1 million. And they paid it. So the business didn't have to absorb it. Okay. So he's talking about not E&O insurance. He's talking about cybersecurity insurance. Okay. Not fraud, because that's really covered on a different insurance, but this is specifically cybersecurity insurance. That if you get ransomed, if your means of running your business is interrupted because of like his event, they will then do all that process that I kind of went through and then pay it out at that point. Because what I've seen is they will pay for the labor that it takes to recover, get you going. They will pay the ransom. They will pay your legal fees. They will pay your brand reputation. And then they will also pay to send and notify everyone out that you had to do. Did you have to notify anyone as well? Yeah, it was all covered. That's right. And you didn't have to figure out, what do I do now? You could then keep focusing on your other stuff. Yes. So I've had some groups that don't have it or have a very low amount. And I always say, go talk and find out what else you can get.
On 2 separate occasions, I have been working at my computer and all of a sudden it freezes.
Oh, yes.
Sign comes up.
Yep.
Purportedly Microsoft.
Yep.
Saying you got a problem, please call this number. We have to work at the software. Da 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 da.
Yes.
First time it happened, I actually called the number.
Yes. Don't do that.
Second time I didn't.
Yeah. Right.
But I started going through and I said, this is not right. You know.
That's correct.
All right. So how do you deal with it? I just pull the plug and let the computer sit for a while and then reboot.
Yes. So actually, I could probably find it real quick, but what he described happened to my mother-in-law. I think I was in Colorado and she called me and said, Sean, John, Apple's having a problem on my computer. And there's a screen that says I got problems and I need to call this number. I was like, wait, stop, T. Don't call the number. Please take a screenshot because I want to have it. But they will do that and it'll look like your computer is taken over. It probably looked like, oh, this is super important and I can't use my computer anymore, and don't even try to use it because if I do, I'm going to make it worse. So I better call that number at that point. So he did the appropriate thing. I would say sometimes when you unplug a computer, it's not the best thing sometimes it crashes at that point. So what I say also you could do is hit the start button or the shutdown button and just shut it down normally, okay? And sometimes, and I'll use the word sometimes, when you bring up your web browser, like I'm sure you did, it's gone, okay? Because it was just a flash. Sometimes they will add a piece of software into the web browser that takes you back to their site. And so you still think you're infected. You're not actually infected. There's nothing wrong. They're just tricking you to go back. So then you have to look a little bit deeper and figure out where that hook is. Because again, it's just a splash page. There is nothing wrong with your computer at that point. Yes.
So I got this 2 days ago.
Yep.
And I've gotten one similar to it before. My question is, I know it's not real. My question is, what are they trying to get? It says, Larry, you've been approved for the immunodeficiency genetic test, an examination that assesses your 300 plus immune conditions like arthritis, thyroid cancer, and diabetes. You are covered by your insurance at no pocket cost. Please reply yes for details. Do not respond to unsubscribe.
Yes.
So if I'd hit yes, what were they?
Okay. So remember, all these groups have a business and they have a plan. And what is generally the number one thing in the business to do? It is to make money. So they're going to figure out, okay, what's her name? Larry. I got Larry's information. I'm going to get his social number. I'm going to get a bunch of stuff from Larry because he's really interested in being part of this thing. So they're going to take it really far until they see where the money goes, and then they're going to go after it. So it'll feel legitimate for a little bit, but as soon as they get enough personal information from you, they'll go where the money is at that point.
I've heard in the past that Macs versus PCs are more vulnerable to attacks or perhaps more susceptible to certain types of things versus a Mac. I don't know if that's still the case or not. I'd just like to get your take on that.
Right, sure. How many people are in here? Was it 60, 65? I say we are the problem because are you on a Mac or a PC? PC. My mother-in-law got it on a Mac. It's the same thing. In both of those cases, the problem is us at that point. The problem is calling that number at that point and then allowing someone else to come in. So I would say 15 years ago, Macs were better at that. I think the playing ground is a lot even now. And the problem is us because we're the ones who want to call that number and get help because we're seeing a problem in front of us. That's a good question.
There was an interview on TV yesterday with a guy that was the president of Change Healthcare who had just paid $22 million in ransom.
Yes.
And I'm sure I'm going to be notified because I'm through United Healthcare, which is a division of Change Healthcare, that my information has been compromised at some point. All credit to Jennifer Bourne for doing a good job, but we're paying for all this ransom.
Yes.
It's coming back to us somewhere along the way. So insurance, schminsurance, what can we do to protect ourselves in the big world of healthcare, banking, whatever?
So I would love to be able to give you an answer. I unfortunately don't think there is one because I believe in that particular problem and in change. The problem is all the connectedness in their systems. So you may not being aware that you are connected to them through 4, 5, 6 different layers, but you had no idea that your information proceeded through all those layers. So we're a very connected society, and businesses are very connected because they want to be very efficient. And so there's a lot of data moving between all the systems. So it makes it really hard at that point. I had a friend ask me, hey, can you get my picture and my email address off the internet? And I was like, I would love to, but there's just no way because it's so prolific with how our society works with our information, unfortunately. So. Yes, thank you. I didn't have that in here, but I have a slide that talks about that. So VPNs, oh, we got some blinds. Okay. When you have these blinds that are open, as these are, I can see through them and what's going on outside. If I try to look out over here, I can't see outside. So that's what a VPN does to the bad guys. I'm still able to see visually through right now, and the bad guy can see through. When you put a VPN on your connection, so from your computer to wherever you're going, from your iPhone or Android to wherever you're going, it pulls the shades or turns it. And all of a sudden, you know, even in my example with the Wi-Fi, it would be, the shutters would be closed or the blinds would be closed. So that's a very non-technical description, but it scrambles it. They cannot read it anymore. Okay.
Feel better about being scammed? Go watch the Beekeeper movie.
Yeah.
Some of you know what I'm talking about, the Beekeeper. It's a guy that comes in and takes care of business after being scammed. And it's really, it makes you feel good.
Thank you for having me, y'all.
Sean, before you sit down, I do have a gift to offer you from our club. Thank you so much for being here and for what you shared with us. I see Kirsten Patrick, Keely, Deb is on the board of Wilson Bank and Trust. I'm sure I'm Jennifer Shepard. Every banker has stories about fraud. And I think to your question, Sana, just being vigilant, and to the extent that you feel like something is wrong. I mean, I've had a client call me that said that somebody spoofed our bank's number to call them to try to get them to send. So it looked like it was the bank. So
that is a thing. That is a thing.
It's really frightening, but we do appreciate you being here to help us protect us from ourselves, Sean.
That's right.
And so we would like to give you a gift for that gift that you've given us of protecting us from ourselves. It's a pen that you can use, and you will remember your time here with us. And so thank you for that. And the first thing that I would ask you to do with that pen is to sign this book. It's called The Apple Dumpling Adventure. It's a book about the Rotary four-way test that we read to elementary school students in the city of Brentwood. So thank you for that.
You bet. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Deb. Would like to re-welcome our guests, Drew, Peggy, Chris. Thank you for being here. And to our visiting Rotarians, Deb, thank you for being here. Patty, Gail, and Catherine. We look forward to the rodeo. And if you want to learn anything more about the rodeo, just click on that QR code that's on that thing. Right? No problem. It'll be good. If there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, then we are adjourned.